Hi, Judy from Witchpeace Craft. Welcome to today's video, my trip out west. For those who are new to my channel, I live in Cairns, a northern beach suburb of Cairns in far north Queensland, Australia, up towards the top of the east coast of Australia. Most years we take a trip overseas, especially to Europe, and catch up with our son who lives in London. But of course, this year, that couldn't happen. We were supposed to be going to the south of France and meeting up with him for his 40th. He just said he'll stay 39 till we can catch up. So we decided we would do a trip out west or southwest for me to look at areas I hadn't seen that Mr. War used to work in. So we set off and we headed up to the Atherton Tableland. We stopped in Mareeba, where we used to live. We lived there for nearly 10 years. Sorry, I can hear noises outside. And pretty much left there when the boys went off to university. We downsized and moved to Cairns. We stopped there for morning tea. We had Skyberry coffee. They actually grow coffee in Mareeba, some beautiful coffee. And right next door to the coffee was the news agency. And I managed to get August Crochet World. It is as rare as hen's teeth in Cairns. Mind you, paid $15.25 for it. And right next to it was, and I have never seen this in Cairns, is Annie's Spooktastic Crochet. The cover got me, stood out. That was $17.50. I haven't made any of these for Halloween, but the blanket is inspiring me, the colours, the way they've done it, not necessarily the pattern. So that was reading material for my trip. We headed on to Atherton, where we stopped for a little break, and I looked in a charity shop and I found some embroidery yarns, which I use on my crocheted items, unopened in the packet for 50 cents. A good charity shop buy. From there we travelled on and we went to Ravenshoe, where we stopped for lunch, and I spied a little shop called Ravenshoe Gift and Sew, and I'm thinking, could be yarn in there. Went in there, beautiful shop. She does have handmade knitted and crocheted things that people in town have made that she sells as gifts, especially for babies, a few sewing items and gifts. And she was a lovely lady. There was the most amazing owl tea cozy someone had made. I left her my business card. I said, if the lady wanted to sell me a copy of the pattern, I would appreciate it. Haven't heard anything. Don't think she's parting with that pattern. I bought the Barbie buttons, that's the packet that I put on Emma's poncho, which I think was last video. And I bought a mug. I've taken it out of the box. One, because it's orange and it says, if in doubt, make tea. And you know, I love loose leaf tea. So yes, got a new mug. From there, we travelled quite a way on only really stopping for fuel to Undara, where the Undara lava tubes are. We spent a couple of days there. It was amazing. So peaceful, relaxing, so much scenery to look at. And the tour guide, she was amazing when we went down the lava tubes. Really liked it there. Very weak internet and no television. Hence, I had magazines. I also had craft stuff. So I was fine. So from there, we headed down to Cobalt Gorge. On the way, we stopped off in Georgetown and looked at the Ted Elliott mineral collection. The reason I wanted to see that was Ted Elliott established the charity I worked for 48 years ago. And when he passed away about 7 years ago, he left his mineral collection to Georgetown. He was a keen fossicker and he did most of his fossicking there. There are 4,000 pieces in this collection. It's quite valuable. There are gold nuggets, different items, very precious stones. And yeah, you pay to go in and look at it. It's actually been quite good for this little town. It's brought a bit of income into the town because people stop off, look at that, have lunch and move on, because it's sort of one of those towns in between places. So from there we went to Cobalt Gorge, turning off at Fortescue, where I saw emus. That's quite a rough road in. It's unsealed. A lot of caravans do it, but yeah, braver man than I. Kevin tells me it was in good condition. He had worked out that way. Of course, I had to listen to all the work stories. The big one of there was he got flooded in between two rising rivers and ended up staying on an old station with no station people there who had been evacuated. But he was fine because he's still around today. Cobalt Gorge was beautiful. There is a glass bridge that they put in. This is the first season it's been opened across the gorge. It's only small, but it was lovely and the guide was amazing. Any fitness level could have done this tour because he stops just at the right time and talks about bush food, rocks, different things. He is a great guide. My only problem with Cobalt was the actual accommodation area wasn't as professionally run or done as Undara, but Undara people have been around a long time. So from there we were leaving to come back to Cairns because we had to see lawyers for legal reasons, and Mr. Wall wanted to come the back way and go to Ironslay, which is a little town where he did a lot of work. The population is 50 people. The main building is the pub, and we stopped at the pub for morning tea. It's 40 kilometres of unsealed dirt road, corrugated to get to this place, but it was amazing and a highlight of the trip. Yes, that's a plane going over. Mainly because the girl at the pub was just brilliant. They had a new owner had installed a coffee machine. She'd had no barista training, but she was making great coffees. And if the number of people who would stop there for coffee was anything to go by, she was doing a roaring trade. They had homemade cakes, cheesecakes that you could tell were homemade. They weren't perfectly smooth and constructed like you get in coffee shops here, and they weren't as expensive. It was a great little stop. On the counter was a basket of handmade cards. I thought she made them, but she said, no, a little old lady in town makes them and they sell them for her. So I bought 3. There was a birthday card. There is a beautiful thank you card. I don't do paper craft, but I really admire people who do and how creative they can be. And there is a Father's Day card, because yesterday was Father's Day here, but I didn't give him that card. We came back to Cairns, did what we have to, and then a couple of days we took off back up to the tablelands. We went to Mount Uncle Distillery. I just have to pause it a moment. Sorry about that, neighbour came knocking. Always when you want to do a video. So yes, we did Ironslay, we went up, came back, and then we went up to Mount Uncle Distillery, which is a beautiful property, a lot of animals. But the cellar door was disappointing, mainly because I downed 4 spirits, bought spirits in less than 10 minutes. The lady there just was not very welcoming, and yeah, we got the bum's rush, in and out. We did buy spirits, which is quite surprising that she is such a grump, because I thought people weren't doing that well financially. I bought Mr. Wall Watkins whiskey, single malt whiskey for Father's Day, which he got yesterday, but he hasn't opened it yet. And for the son, I bought him Angia vodka. They make a few vodkas, 1 whiskey, and a lot of gin. I don't buy gin. I don't drink gin. I believe gin is depressing. Maybe that's a problem. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy looking at my photo montage after this. There may be a bit of video if I can scrounge some. As I've said before, I get caught up in the moment and I forget to take photos and videos. But maybe you will like looking through your window into my backyard. So guys, stay tuned, enjoy, and have some fun. Until next time, make sure you take care of each other, and don't forget, have one crafty day. Bye for now.